launching the biggest giveaway we've ever had on this channel. We're giving one of you this fully customized Chevrolet Silverado Trail Boss Z71 thanks to VNSH. I love this thing. The VNSH holster is the most comfortable holster I've ever worn. It's made with premium materials that enhance all-day carry for the everyday American. This is an incredibly versatile holster that works with 99% of modern handguns, allows you to carry 2 extra magazines, and can be worn in just about any configuration you can imagine. To enter, all you have to do is click the link in the description and get yourself the most comfortable holster you've ever worn with a money-back guarantee. And VNSH will hook you up. They're knocking $50 off the retail price for anyone who buys using our special link below. Get an exclusive discount and extra entries this week only when you use our link below. Don't wait, because this giveaway ends in a few weeks.
What's up, FTFers? How do you formulate a baseline kit that's lightweight, durable, versatile, tailored to your needs, and expandable at the same time? Well, before you can build a house, you have to have a solid foundation. Now, most people equate that to their EDC, or their everyday carry, but it really starts with your clothes. Did you know that you can die in as little as 45 minutes due to exposure? A rise in 2 degrees or a fall in 2 degrees, and you are well on your way to failure. Besides, your clothes are your first line of defense against the elements. Now, I've said it a billion times, in theory, you should be dressed for the worst possible condition for the time of year of the area that you're in. But that's not really practical. Not everybody does that, myself included. However, if you are dressed properly, then you've already got your shelter. In other words, you are well on your way to meeting your survival priorities. And that's really the point that I'm trying to make. Whatever you carry and whatever you wear, it should do just that. You need to take care of your priorities first. This allows you to take care of your needs before your wants. Question is, what are my survival priorities? Well, everybody in the industry can agree on 4 of them anyway. That's shelter, water, fire, and food. But depending on what organization you're with, or what books you read, or shows that you watch, there are other ones included as well. And they are certainly worth mentioning. Positive mental attitude, defense, first aid, signaling, rest, and even hygiene. So that's my first challenge to you. When you lay out your EDC, then ask yourself, does it meet my survival priorities? And when you put a kit together, ask yourself, does it meet my survival priorities? And I would encourage you to try to do that under 20 pounds. And a lot of people are gonna be like, that is impossible. Well, today I'm gonna teach you a trick that will take care of that. There's something that I call the fishbowl principle. You put a fish into a bowl and the fish will stay the same size. However, if you take that same fish and you put it in an aquarium, the fish will grow. The same thing happens with our packs. You go and you buy a large pack, and what is the temptation? To fill it up. Now, I'm not saying don't get a big pack. For example, this is a 40-liter pack that I've got right here. However, this bag right here is only a 16-liter bag. Now, what I do is I try to fill up this bag first to try to restrict me so that it helps me to make critical decisions. So what I do is I fit everything inside of this pack that matches my survival priorities, and then I put it in a larger pack like this, and I have the ability to expand the kit with the things that I want. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, no way, it's impossible. You can't get the contents of this 40-liter bag into this small bag. Well, I'm gonna show you that you can. Okay, no tomfoolery here, so I'm going to go ahead and take the contents of this pack out, and I'm gonna transfer it over to this kit right here. And as you can see, there's nothing in the bag. What's on the outside of the pack? Well, water is pretty important. So what do I have? I have a titanium grail that has a cup on it. So if I need to, I can boil water if the filter fails. Now, to save the filter, I have a pre-filter, and I know someone's gonna ask, this came from Campcraft Outdoors. Really like these, and I really support them. If you wanna get the most out of your filter, you need a pre-filter. So that's number 1. We're gonna stuff it into the side of the bag right here. Now, if I remember correctly, that's only 16 ounces, and I just don't think that that's enough water. Depending on where you live, you could be out in the West somewhere, you definitely need more water than that. So what I have in this side pocket here is a clean canteen, a stainless steel, and it will hold 27 ounces of water. So if I combine this along with the grail, well, that's a good bit of water to carry, and it's not too heavy on top of that. I'm gonna slide that into the other pocket on the side. Now let's open this up and see what we got inside of here. First pouch, I've got my XL survival scarf by Tough Possum, and I love this thing. I've done videos on it. Y'all have seen me use it in the field. This thing's incredible. I love the inside of it with this hunter orange or blaze orange on the inside. Makes an excellent signaling device. So this is something that I'm also going to include into the kit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it on the back side of the pack in this little pouch that I have right here. There we go. I'm just gonna insert it into the back. We're good to go. Diving in a little further, what do we have? Well, this right here I consider to be very important because this houses all of my thermal layers. Inside of here, I've got a puffy jacket, I've got a complete level 1 base layer set, I've got my beanie, I've got underwear and socks, and yes, they are wool, and yes, you can wear them year round. They are not itchy or scratchy. They are antimicrobial and you will not stink. And yes, you can put all of that into this little bitty compression sack and it will fit into the bag, as I will demonstrate right now. Boom. I'm continuing on the thermal regulation thing. Here is my jungle bag, and it will fit right here on the bottom of the pack. And it's just that easy. Now, a serious consideration for me, especially where I live, is it is so hot and humid down here in the southeast. And the last place that I want to be is on the ground with all the spiders and the ants and the ticks and the chiggers and the snakes and all that stuff. I just don't want to deal with that. So I really want to be in the air first, and then I'll default to the ground if I have to. So what I have in here is my hammock and my Helios suspension system. That's going into the kit. Now, I'm also a really big believer in tarps. So this is a 3 meter by 3 meter DD super light tarp. It'll go into the kit next. And if that should fail, redundancy, I also have my rain gear. This is a standard USGI style poncho. What if something happens to my tarp? I can take care of it with the poncho. If it rains, I can wear the poncho. I can also use it to cover the gear. So that goes into the kit next. Now, something that you can't forget for sheltering systems is you've got to have your cordage so that you can tie things up. So I include that as well. I'll stick it right here. Now I can take my hammock and I can put that right on top. Now, something else that doesn't get talked about very often is a ham radio. Now, what I have here is a Faraday bag that houses my radio. If there were an EMP, at least it's protected. And I also have a flashlight with lithium batteries on the inside just for redundancy. And let's not forget the antenna as well. And then I'm gonna lay this on the top. Oh, it still closes. Another thing that people don't talk about very often are gloves. Now, you could shove these into your pocket just for fast access, but I want to show you that you can still fit all of this stuff into the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in there as well. And yes, I can still zip up the pack. Calories. You can't forget calories. If you're going to be expending a lot of calories, you need to be able to replace them. So inside of this bag, well, I have a Vargo titanium stove. This allows me to make a fire when I'm in a non-permissive environment. I can hide it. It's a lot easier than doing a Dakota fire pit. It's just smart. I mean, you can boil water in 2 to 5 minutes, no problem. Plus, when you run out of your snacks and you need to cook something up, you can have a small contained fire. So I like having that. The most critical aspect of what's in here are electrolytes. I have a lot of electrolytes inside of this kit because they're so important. I've done lots of videos in the past on why you should have electrolytes. It just makes sense you should have them in your kit. But I've also got things like proteins and carbs and fats and oils and sugars, and you need all of these things. So make sure whatever you pack, make sure that you have a well-balanced diet inside of your bag. I also try to make sure that everything in here can be eaten on the run. If you're in a non-permissive environment, you don't need to be sitting there fiddling with making something. You need to be able to eat on the run. Now, down here in the bottom, I also have a titanium spoon, and really more of just a comfort item. I have coffee in the pack as well. The added boost of the caffeine, a taste of home, it'll lift your spirits. I like having coffee in my kit. Now I only use it when I'm safe, when I know I'm in a permissive environment and I just need a boost. So now I can put everything back into this kit, and as you can see, there's more than 3,000 calories in here, and it will fit into a bag this thin. And where this bag goes is right here on top. What it does is it just clips right into the top of the bag right here, and I can hold it together with the straps. Well, that's all nice and neat and everything, but what else do I have in here? Well, a shemagh. I really can't stress it enough. Having a shemagh, hundreds of uses. By now, you should know what those uses are. Just get one. Now what I do is I just stick it right on top of this. I don't have anything holding it in other than the pack itself. The reason for that is because I want really quick access to it if I need to in an emergency, if I've got to stop the bleed. I have some kind of first aid scenario. These are useful for that in a lot of different ways. So I want to make sure that it's out and I can still get to it fast. You need to be tactically efficient. Which brings up my last kit in this possible pouch, is what I call it. It just houses all the little stuff that I don't want to lose that goes in the kit. On the very top, I've got things like, first aid stuff, things to control the bleeding. And then I've got things like my stakes for my shelter. I've got map and compass tools, a pen, a Write in the Rain book, something to write on, things like baby powder, a lighter with duct tape, even a small bar of soap, because like I said, hygiene is important. I've got this little strop for my knife. I've got a tourniquet. I've even got a little mosquito net that goes over my hat to keep the bugs off of me at night. I've also got lots of medicines in here, like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, Benadryl, and anti-diarrheal. You need things like Imodium and X-Lax just to keep your system flowing properly. I've also got bug dope. I even have some comfort items like a comb for my beard. Oh yeah. And I don't know anybody that goes anywhere without their toothbrush. I've also got antifungal cream. Gotta take care of your feet and gotta take care of the Holy Trinity. Now, whatever's in your possible pouch, that's all related to you and what your specific needs are. I'm just kind of sharing with you what I have in mind. That zips up and is a nice thin package as well. And then this Grimlock goes in right into the top. Boom, there's the whole entire kit. Now I can take these straps, I can sandwich everything in, and there we go. There's the entire kit. I'm gonna go ahead and secure the bag to the bottom. Just gonna tighten this up. And there you have it. There's my entire kit in the Terra Humara, and as you can see, there's nothing left in the 40-liter bag. Now, what does that mean? That means if I want to go like this, I can, but if I want to expand the kit, all I have to do is go up on the pack itself. But what's important is I have everything that I need in here and on my person. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh yeah, well, I see some things missing out of your survival priorities. First of which people are going to say is defense. Done. Now let's lay it all out and let's see how many of our priorities can we take care of. Now, a lot of people may say, Jay, you're cheating. I mean, everything didn't go into the bag. And you're right, but this bag is modular. It gives me the ability to expand. This is a 17-pound kit, and within this kit, I have everything that I need. My only problem with it is that I can't expand it any more than what I already have. So let's just start at the top of the list. Positive mental attitude. Something that people don't talk about very often is the totem. I've mentioned it in lots of videos, but there are specific things in this kit that came from people in my life that I love. And what that means is that I have a piece of them wherever I go. And so by assigning value to the items that you carry like that, that can help you with a positive mental attitude. The next thing is having all of the solutions in the kit that I have because it instills confidence. Next on the list is defense. We got that covered. Now we're moving into shelter. Okay, well, shelter is just a way of saying regulating your core body temperature. So there's my sleeping bag. Inside of here, I've also got my shelter options. So there's my hammock and the cordage that goes with it, and my tarp. I've also got redundancy built into the kit. Here's my rain gear and my backup shelter, my poncho. I've also got my gloves. What I consider to be the most important part are my extra thermal layers. Not to mention, I also have a shemagh, which goes into first aid. The majority of the first aid items that I carry are on my person, and they're also in this possibles pouch. The majority of my shelter options are also going to help me rest at night. All of my hygiene items are in my possibles pouch. Now, what about water? We've got our Grail, we've got our pre-filter, so we've got that. The ability to carry extra water as well. And I have the Wazoo water kit in my cash belt. As far as food goes, we've got everything that we need right here to keep us going for a minimum of 3 days. We also have the ability to boil water so we can purify it and to cook food. Which brings up fire. Yes, I have all the things that I need to start a fire right here. And on my person, I've got a lighter, I've got fire plugs, I've got the Wazoo fire card, and I've also got the stove so I can contain the fire inside of this kit. Now, what about signaling? Well, we've got the XL survival scarf that has the blaze orange on the inside, and I can also double this up and use it for a lot of different things. If I need a debris bag, I've got it. If I need to expand on the kit or I need to gather up materials, I've got that covered. Also, something that doesn't get talked about very often is communication. Yes, I've got my phone on me as a primary, but do you have a pace plan? What's next? Well, I've got my radio. Now, one thing that is missing that I do have plans to put into the kit is some kind of solar charged power bank. And I'm looking for one that's really small that will fit into the kit and will still fit into my Faraday bag. We're gonna say, well, where's your knife and where's your saw? Well, I have them in my pockets, but here's the thing. What if you were going on an airplane? What if you had to go through TSA? Well, that would be off of the table. We wouldn't be able to have a knife. We wouldn't be able to have a saw. But the rest of the stuff here in the kit, that would certainly go onto the airplane with me. And if I absolutely had to, I could put something heavy like the water bottle inside of this survival scarf, and you could literally beat the crap out of somebody with it. Now, is it ideal? No. Myself personally, I do not like getting on airplanes. I absolutely hate it. I feel completely naked when I do not have stuff for my defense. So a big part of survival is staying out of places you don't need to be. We call it strategic avoidance. If you think there's going to be a problem, maybe you need to stay out of that area to begin with. Now, with all this stuff on the table and what's included in my pockets, except for the saw and the knife, a multi-tool, etc., those would have to come off of the table if we were on an airplane. And if I didn't have any of this stuff at all, at least I still have on my Wazoo cash belt, which I have 30 items for survival in the belt. Now, with this kit, I have a lot of options here. I have all of my needs taken care of, and I still have some of my wants in here as well. Not to mention the least of which people talk about, which is hygiene, which I think in our last adventure video you saw, hygiene literally played a serious factor in it. Some people on our last challenge, they went 7 miles and they were already having feet problems and crotch related problems. If you don't think that's serious, it really is. That can put you out of the race really fast. Now, when I was analyzing this kit, sure, I have a lot of stuff here, but there were a couple things that I felt like, okay, I really want to add to the equation, because on the last adventure, I had to pull my jump kit out 6 times. And so something that I really wanted to add to the kit was just a comprehensive first aid kit. I really don't think that there's any way that you can escape that. I mean, I have a lot of first aid supplies here on the table, things that I can use for first aid, but I really like having a custom first aid kit, and there's already a video on it if you want to see what's in this kit. Now, the beauty of this kit right here is that I can now take everything from this 16-liter pack and I can go ahead and add it into the 40-liter pack, and I can add my first aid kit with no problem whatsoever. And if I was going on a trip where I had to get on a plane or I was going on vacation, I have plenty of room to expand for extra clothes if I want. I also have room that if I want to bring something home, I can carry everything in my carry-on and still have it with me at all times. So there you have it. There's the current kit that I'm running. I hope that throughout the process you've learned something, the largest of which, it doesn't really matter which pieces of kit you carry. That's all based on whatever your specific needs and wants are. But I hope you understand the principles behind what I'm trying to throw down here. If you see something in this kit that you think is missing, well, now you have the ability to expand on it. You can add that thing. But as a baseline, we have all of our needs taken care of. Now, it's just a simple matter of what our wants are. And we did all of this under 20 pounds, minus my weapon, obviously, that goes in my pants. But having 20 pounds on your back or less, that's a game changer. So get in the comment section, leave us a snide remark, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, keep fueling those fires. Now here's a bonus for those of you that held on to the end. How do you get everything in the pack? How do you pack the pack? Well, I start by putting the lightweight stuff in the bottom. There goes my rain poncho and my shelter system. Then I'm gonna put the heavy stuff in the top. I'm gonna sit right there. Take my first aid kit. It goes in the very top for quick access. Now I'm just gonna start filling holes with the soft stuff. There's my cordage. I'm gonna lay the radio right there on top. I'm gonna go ahead and put my survival scarf into this pouch. Now, something that I like to do, if you've got a bunch of oddball stuff in your kit and it doesn't compress well, it's like an odd shape or whatever, you can add something like this Tough Possum sit pad into the top of your pack, just like this. Now when you close it up, everything takes on a really nice shape. Now I'm going to take the compression straps and I'm going to go ahead and do the top. And I'm going to take the grail, put it in this side pouch. And something else that I wanted to add to the kit was a nesting cup, because you really can't use this cup because it's contaminated. So if I want to have some coffee or something, I wanted to nest the cup into this one. I'm going to put it on the other side. And now that I have the pack loaded up, I can take these side straps, go ahead and put them on. Really get in there and tighten everything down. And there you have it, the entire kit. And with all the added extra stuff, it only weighs 22 pounds. I'm a stud, I know it.